Hey everyone, welcome back to Sweat, Snacks and Sanity, the Dad Edition. So as you can hear, I still have my cowboy voice. Haven't fully shaken the COVID bug just yet, but that is also a great opportunity for me to discuss in today's episode the mental side of fitness and training. Let's face it, that is probably the hardest battle. And it's not always with the weights or the exercise bikes or going onto the road. In most cases, it is that little voice that is telling you, hey, keep sitting on the couch for another Netflix episode, or don't get up from bed, it's cold and rainy outside. Or maybe, hey, you've just had a bad injury or not feeling great, no reason to get back into things. And the mental side is to know when to listen to that voice and when to override it, because that little voice isn't always right. So, as I've mentioned, it is a mindset. It comes with a lot of experience. I've been fortunate enough to be quite an active person all my life. So I've learned to know my body and what works for me and what doesn't. But even for me, something like this is very tough, especially when trying to achieve a goal that is hard, or in my case, losing weight, which I've put in over a longer period of time. So, how do I do that? I have a number of strategies that I implement. Apologies. The first one is I visualize progress. So I picture myself, my future self, and I tell myself that is how I will feel after all the training. So in my case, it is conquering the mountains in the cycling challenge for March next year. I have to be lighter, otherwise I will not be able to cycle up those mountains without tremendous suffering. So for me, that is important. I also focus on the why. Staying consistent for me, as I've mentioned before, is very important. But not just for me, it's also setting a good example, in my case, for my kids. Trying to be a healthy role model. Yes, I'm secretly competing with them. If they're lifting high weights, it pushes me harder. They think it's a bonding moment. For me, it's a stealth competition. I have to be the winner. And then also positive self-talk. I don't really go and say I can't do this. I can always do something. So once I get myself there and it's tough, I really just muscle down or bite down, and I remind myself of, I've done this before, I can do it again. I do listen to my body. If I'm not feeling great, I will not push myself. Now, the other thing that is very important for me, and those that know me will know this well, is the role that humor plays in my life. To me, it's my secret weapon. I really go and say, if this doesn't kill me, it makes me stronger. And if I really suffer hard, it's a funny joke that I can put in my next podcast episode. Or when my dogs go and do the millionth time sniff, or trying to sit in the shade, I remind myself they're probably sitting in the shade because they don't want to be a hot dog. Laughing for me is part of overcoming the challenges, and hence why I do it, especially in times when it feels a bit overwhelming. So managing stress and bad habits is for me a big mental game. I'll admit I used to run to the snack cupboard or open a bottle of wine But I've learned now to redirect my energy or find a substitute. So when I'm really stressed, in the past I would eat an entire slab of chocolate, and it would never solve the problem. Trust me, no matter how much chocolate you eat, you cannot become a smartie. So thanks for listening. In my next episode, I'll go more deeply into the actual exercises that I do. I promise I'll give you an update, because I think with COVID now almost behind me, I can get back into the normal training, measure myself again on the scale. Thanks for those that gave me some food to eat during this time to help me not prepare meals. Also offering to now get into a kitchen and start cooking. I really appreciate that. And just keep on remembering, there is nothing that you cannot do if you put your mind to it.